Hey guys, so this week I want to do something cool that you guys all suggested, or not all, but a lot of you did. A lot of you guys wanted to come along with me in Jacksonville on a little adventure and do some photography. So that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to be doing some long exposures. If you got a camera, you can do this. I'm really excited for this because I haven't done this in a really long time. But yeah, the only problem is, as you can see, it's daylight out, so we gotta wait till later, and there's steps involved. It's a whole process. It's a long thing, but it will be worth it.
Step one, we gotta go shopping. Walmart time, baby. Right down. Whisk. Bam. Got our steel wool. Somebody's car alarm's going off. I didn't do it. So shopping went well. Got our whisks, got our wool. Now we just need some paracord. I already had this, so I didn't have to buy it. First off, get a metal whisk, okay? Don't get the plastic ones. It's gonna get really hot and melt it. You don't want that, all right? Second, paracord doesn't really matter. It's not super important. Steel wool. You wanna get the fine stuff, because it's gonna burn fast and it's gonna burn bright. So get the real fine. I got the 0000, the finest for the finest. I hated that joke. While I'm doing this, I got to see my friend Jackson in there. That was pretty funny. I walked in, I was like, what the heck? I know that kid. He has a Paxton shirt on. And he turned around, he's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, good, what's up? He's a photographer, pretty cool guy. I like his photos a lot. They're fun. They're very different from mine, but I like them. Yeah, that was crazy. And then a guy in line talked to me. He's like, dang man, that's a big camera. What do you do? I was telling him about YouTube and everything and photography, and he's like, I need to get one of those. That looks awesome. He liked it. But what you want to do is cut yourself a length of paracord. Doesn't have to be a super specific length. You can change it later. Through the little thing, tie it off. Super simple. Make sure it's tight because you don't want to lose it. Because I left my last whisk in Boone. So this is my makeshift for the time being. So you got your whisk, you got your string. Now you need a location. Yep, that'll work. It's super windy up here. I'm on a parking garage. It's windy and it's cold. But I came up here because of all these buildings. That's the Carling building back there, okay? These are two of the really cool abandoned buildings I used to go up all the time. That's Wells Fargo. These are all very very symbolic buildings that are in Jacksonville, you know? One last thing, that is the Main Street Bridge. The Main Street Bridge is a big thing as well. And I wanna shoot some photos. So we already talked about how we needed the whisk and the paracord, the steel wool. We also need a lighter and a tripod. That's what you're on right now, is a tripod. Any kind of tripod will work. It doesn't even have to be a real tripod. You could just set your camera on something. Sitting down so you guys can see me better, but we're gonna tear up that steel wool, okay? Stuff it inside of your handy dandy little whisk friend, all right? Make sure it's well spread out. Next comes the fun part. This right here, this is what we're gonna be doing, okay? After we light it, you're gonna spin it around, stand completely still, and then it's gonna be awesome. The biggest thing there is to stand completely still. If you're doing any kind of long exposure, you need your camera to be still, and if you want something in the shot to be solid and not be a blur, that needs to be completely still too. So like, if you're shooting photos of cars, it's cool because the buildings don't move, okay? So you could have lots of trails of lights and stuff, which you can see on my Instagram, in the description at what's_the_point-and-shoot. And yeah, so I'm gonna stand really still. I'm gonna light this thing, and then I'm gonna spin it over my head, and I'll show you how it's done. So, this is gonna be our shot, okay? I'm gonna stand about here, and I'm gonna do it. So just to show you how that's done, real quick, you set your exposure. I do about 13 seconds, and you wanna make sure not everything else is gonna be blown out. So bring up that aperture. I brought it up around 20. My ISO is at 100 and my exposure is at 13 seconds. Then you're gonna back up, way up. You get your lighter, light it, and then you spin. So, do that for about 10-13 seconds, however long your exposure is, and it should come out something like this. But that's not the final product. We gotta go back to the studio for that. Whew, this is a bouncy ride. Parking garages tend to have bumps in them. It's very difficult. But a few things I wanted to mention. First, you can see why I got the fine stuff, as in like finely graded steel wool or however they make it, I don't know. It lights super fast, super easy, and also the amount of time that you're spinning it, and you want to make sure like you get it up in the air before the photo starts to take. So I set my camera on a 10-second timer so I can hit it. I have time to light it real quick because it usually just takes one flick of the lighter to get it lit, and then get it up and spinning before the camera starts shooting the photo, or else you'll get this weird line that's really faint and it's going up and it just looks weird. All you want is the big circle. So, you know, do that. Also, like I said before, don't move. You cannot move, okay? You want to stay completely still, keep your body there, unless you want to do some cool thing where it looks like you're moving, or where it looks like the circle's moving. I've done that before, probably like 2 years ago, honestly. My dad did a photo shoot at our old house. It looked really cool. I kind of ran down the street while I was doing it, and you disappear, but the circles don't because they're bright. That looks really cool too. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that you can do with it, and I think it's a really fun like technique that I mess around with. I don't do it very often. Like that took like 3 or 4 tries just to get it done. Luckily, steel wool is stupid cheap. So, you know, it's kind of cool because you can experiment with it and do a lot of cool things with it. If you look up, I think it's like hashtag steel wool photography on Instagram probably. And if you look that up, there's a ton of people that have done it. They've probably done it way better than me because there's some seriously insane people that can do that. But the basics of it is long exposures, and you don't only have to use long exposures for things like that. You can do long exposures of highways. You know, people driving on highways. If you look back at my trip to LA, if you're on my Instagram, or if you go to my website, you can see when I went to LA the strings of lights where it looks like it's drawn in almost of people driving. That's taillights, and it looks really cool because I did a long exposure of the road leading to downtown LA. So, you know, lots of different options, like I said, different stuff you can do, and it'll look really cool. So, let's go back. Let's edit these photos. Another thing, last thing, steel wool is really hot when you burn it. Like, really hot. Like, it got in my sweatshirt, and I was like, whoo! You know, one of those. It's one of those, whoo, burns. So, be careful. You're literally playing with fire, so don't be stupid.
If you guys want to see kind of my editing process, what I go through, all that kind of stuff, let me know down in the comments. I honestly enjoy editing just as much, if not more, than I do actually taking the photo, just because you kind of get to have free range and do whatever you want, and it's really a good time. So, yeah, let me know.
So, if you would like to see those photos that we took earlier, you can check out my Instagram. Where's the link?
In the description.
That's right. Also, comment if you're from YouTube. I want to know. Or comment in the YouTube if you're from Instagram. You guys are trading platforms out here. One last thing before we go. You know, somebody was talking about, they're like, you never say bye, like you never end your video. Like what? I don't know what you.
Video?
Yeah, like I don't know what they want me to do. Like how am I? What am I supposed to do?
Do they want to hug and kiss goodnight?
Right, exactly. Like what do they want from me? You know. Dude. What are you doing here?
What? Go.
Go home.
Bye.
The video's over.
See you later.
You wanted me to say bye. We said bye. Go home.